The breakup of Yugoslavia, spanning 1991 to 2001, changed the Balkans forever. Hundreds of thousands of Kosovar Albanians were caught in the center of the collapse, suffered repression and expulsion from their homes, making the region a symbol of loss, survival, and identity. Slobodan Milošević, the leader who orchestrated the ethnic cleansing, faced 66 counts of war crimes and genocide at The Hague in Netherlands, home to the International Court of Justice. He died in prison in 2006 before a verdict was reached. Kosovo, ending in the letter O, is disputed by ethnic Albanians. Change one letter, Kosova, reflects their language, history, and identity. In many countries, the English name on the map is not liked by locals. Some ask that the native name be shown instead. For example, Greece is really Elatha, Lithuania is Lietuva, and Finland is Suomi. Our guest explains how the conflict in the Balkan region escalated when diplomacy failed.
My name is Ganimete Myftiu. My ethnic background is Albanian, born in Macedonia, lived in Kosovo, and lived in many other places except. So, the only identity that goes with me all around is the ethnic heritage Albanian. It's very difficult to explain this to many people when you say that you are born in Macedonia and then you lived in former Yugoslavia and then you lived in Kosovo, what most of the people call Kosovo. And all this in a row makes the things more complex for a listener to really decode what is the real identity of this person behind it. And I grew up only the first 5 years in Macedonia, and then as of my 5th year, I remember everything. The most important years of my life were in Kosovo. So I was educated for the Albanology, the studies of Albanian literature and language, also music in University of Kosovo. During the years 80, 84, I was a valedictorian of the mathematical high school and then continued the studies of language. But unfortunately, 89 is the year when the major social changes happened in former Yugoslavia, with Milošević taking charge of the social situation. A lot of institutions were destroyed deliberately, particularly the institutions that protected the cultural heritage were the ones in attack, and this is the moment when all of us had to make a choice, either to stay in our country and face the high inflation, an impossible opportunity for employment, impossible choices for life, or go out. In our case, me and my husband, we decided to leave the country, and we lived for 7-8 years in Turkey. With interruptions, we would come back, assess what the situation was, then go back to Turkey, and then from Turkey we had a year that we spent almost 7 months in Germany. So basically the last 12 years of our life are mostly assessing the situations around the world to see where is better and why is better, but I don't know if there is anything better or anywhere better than home. And what I really mean by home, it's such a universal meaning that I don't have a reference even for myself, because things have changed so much in the last years of our life that we have started to feel at home everywhere we go. But still there is a primary home, which is more Kosovo, I would say, with a strong A at the end. I think that we had a discussion about this. Maybe you will recall, I give always a very simple example. I say, if you really cannot distinguish what's the difference between Kosovo and Kosova, always occupied at the end, and A is Albanian. It's not that I really think only this, it's not this simple, but it's something that makes people remember how the ethnic people, ethnic Albanians of Kosovo like to be called. And it's something that it's not even in agenda of the United Nations, because including United Nations today, the name appears everywhere with Kosovo. I think that the subject of conflict and conflict resolution and confusion and misunderstanding is something for which we are the most, we have been very exposed to that, and we had an opportunity to see different cycles of how the confusion turns into a conflict and how a conflict turns into a power of destruction, and how that power of destruction has no returning point, and that there must be another destruction to stop that. I'm speaking from the sample of Kosovo all the time, because it started as a local problem. It started as something that everybody would have thought that can be resolved in a local level. And after long negotiations, which were not fruitful at all, this misunderstanding or this conflict that was initially only a local problem started to become an international problem, started to bother more and more people, not only around the country, but much more the forces around the world started to see the geostrategical importance of this problem. And I think that some of them, with a very sincere attitude, wanted to add into a solution, but some of them were very motivated by particular geostrategical reasons. I would say if there is a word that I would like to use, this is some of the international forces put more oil into fire.